Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning in. So in this video we're going to look at the new ZT0095BW, or the 95 Blackwash as it's called. So really cool model. We'll go through the specs, overall impressions and details, and this is what the knife ships with. Standard ZT box, there's the information. Now this model is an in-house design, so there's not a particular designer attributed to it. I'm sure Jim McNair had a hand in it, as well as some of their other designers at Kai Kershaw ZT there. So yeah, now this model actually started out life as a Snap-on exclusive, and if you guys are familiar with the tool company Snap-on, Kershaw or Kai has had a long-standing relationship with that company. They do supply them with knives and maybe some other products too, but they can only be found through Snap-on dealers, the guys who drive around in the trucks. So after it was a Snap-on exclusive, I don't know if it was from the, if they had initially planned to do a market release, or because a lot of people really liked the Snap-on exclusive and asked for it. But after the Snap-on exclusive, they did a Russian market exclusive of this knife, and it was full stonewashed. There was no black coating on it, and that one went overseas, and they were fairly expensive to get one of those. And then they finally released this 2016 version here for the US market, and the prices come down to a bit more reasonable. Anyways, that's just a little background on where this design came from. This particular design does share quite a bit with the Kershaw Link, which was one of their offerings last year. That particular knife is a USA high value, inexpensive USA made knife, but it takes everything from the Link, and then it's really improved it. It also shares quite a bit with the Kershaw Ruby, which was their 40th edition knife. Same pivot, same overall shape. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, let's get into the specs on this knife then. So we have a handle length of about 3.6 inches, we have a blade length of about 3.6 inches, handle length of about 4.8, giving us an overall of just about 8.3 inches. As a size reference, ZT0562, pretty much just about exactly the same in length. The 0095 might have a tiny bit of additional length beyond the 0562 CF here. So anyway, so that's where we're at for the length. The handle thickness is 0.47 inches, and this one does weigh in at 5.35 ounces on my scale. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the specs. Again, titanium frame lock flipper, does use the KVT ball bearing system, stainless steel insert, over travel stop, pretty much the normal things that we've seen from ZT as of late. Alright, overall impressions. I really feel that this is a great EDC option. It's kind of a no-nonsense knife. A lot of great design language. Really thin blade stock. As you can see, if you look at where the jimping is versus this one, there's quite a large difference. So, great slicing ability, and I think that's really what makes a great EDC, along with the fairly thin profile. Just carries well, cuts well. Those are the most important things with an EDC knife. So, again, shares quite a bit with some of the other in-house designs, and yeah, another excellent offering. I think it's going to be a popular model for ZT. So, yep. All right, let's get into the details then. So, start off with the action. As you can see, there's the flipper tab. It's got some jimping. This is a light switch only. You can't push button this thing. So, yeah, that's what the action looks like. Now, unlike the 0562, this one does not catch on the detent really when you're closing the knife. So, let the flipper tab hit, and it closes. Really smooth. This one isn't completely broken in yet. I'm sure it will be in a matter of time here though. And yeah. Alright, blade shape. We do have a drop point here with a flat grind. Now you do have some shoulders up here, so it's not a full flat grind, but honestly the thickness on the shoulders or the transition is almost superficial. It's almost an aesthetic feature, and so in cutting I didn't notice any snag whatsoever. It performed like a full flat grind. Do have an attractive swedge up top, ton of belly, great blade shape. ZT on that side, and here we have the model number, made in the USA, blade steel, which is S35VN of course, and then serial number. So I think that's it for the blade. Let's talk about ergos real quick. Pretty good ergos. I mean, it fits the shape of your hand quite well. As you can see, extra large hands. I can get all of my hand on the knife. Perfect fit for me. And there's no jimping up top. There is a spot to place your thumb though, which works well. The back of the little harpoon there keeps it in a good spot. So really good control cutting with the knife. So yeah, ergos are pretty good. Now one thing, if you do choke up really hard on the knife like this, you are going to feel that jimping in your finger a little bit there, as you can see. So I know I've had another knife that did that too. Not a huge deal. I mean, most of the time you're not going to be white knuckling this thing, but you know, worth mentioning, I suppose. The frame has been cut a bit short on this side, so accessing the lock bar is really easy, kind of drama free there. And I guess another thing worth mentioning is I like the way the lines transition through the knife. Great lines, great flowing design. So again, a lot of that in-house ZT design language, which is a good thing. Pivot, you know, on an all black wash knife, I really like that they went with the satin pivot here. I think the first time we saw this pivot was maybe the Ruby, perhaps there was another model before that, but really cool decorative pivot, nice contrast to the rest of the knife. You do catch bits of, you know, silver or stainless steel here, and then on the shoulders of the knife it's a bit more worn away to see almost a silver coloration. So, you know, an ode to aesthetics. Alright, and the handle, everything is coated, and the blade in tungsten DLC. DLC is again one of the better coatings. It's quite abrasion resistant. Obviously they forced the abrasion on this black wash, but I mean, you're not going to see any wear on this knife. The DLC will hold up, plus if you were to scratch it, it would just blend in with the rest. It is an open pillar construction, just one standoff at the back, plenty rigid, really nothing to worry about. Let's look at the lockup. Maybe about 20%. Pretty early, really sturdy. Again, I've never had a problem with the ZT. Blade centering is perfect, as you would expect. Then of course it does have an over travel stop as well, so you can't hyperextend the lock bar. Now the pivot, I'm sorry, the pocket clip. Not the most exciting pocket clip, but I do honestly prefer this one over others. When you go to grab this thing out of your pocket, I always grab up here. You know, it's got a nice spot with the screws, makes a good traction point. Now I believe this design will also work, or the holes here will work with maybe like one of the 0560 deep carry clips. There's some aftermarket clips that I've seen, so if you don't like the clip, there's certainly other options there. But I do prefer this one, again, for, you know, an EDC knife. I like to be able to grab it out of my pocket quickly and without a problem. You will have about, you know, this much here sticking up out of your pocket. So But in an all black like this, perhaps it won't be that noticeable. But yeah. Anyways, you know, well done, well built, great slicer, really good action, nice and smooth. I think this one is quite well done. If it were, you know, the all stonewashed version that was released in the US, I do think the popularity could rival that of the 801. You know, that knife was tremendously popular, in part because it was a great design, great materials, great price point. But I think the fact that people could customize the 801s, and so many of you did, that you know, that also lended to its popularity. So if we see other versions of this, you know, along with this one, I think this will be a really popular model for ZT, and I like it quite a bit. I hesitated with the Russian exclusive due to the price. It was I don't know, maybe like $100 more than this one, maybe more than that. But you know, I knew this one was coming, so I waited for this one and didn't take the plunge on the Russian exclusive. But anyways, guys, we'll go ahead and end it there. Again, another solid offering from ZT. As most of you expected, I doubt anyone's surprised. So comments or questions, let me know. You can also follow me on Instagram, the same name, Epic Snuggle Bunny, and we do have the podcast back up and running again. So check the About Me page for links and so forth. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.